What would happen if you spawned into a world and the ground just wasn't there? Suddenly, every jump you make could mean death or, worse, losing everything. Is it even possible to beat the game? Well, I did, and this is how I managed. The first thing I instinctively did was just start mining trees. Now, I needed to be careful not to mine the last block on each of these because otherwise I was going to fall into the void right off the rip, which wouldn't have been the biggest of deals, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to beat the game. So the less I die, the better, I think. I don't know. But either way, I was just trying to beat the game. So the first thing I immediately started doing after I got wood was I just started searching for a village, which luckily enough, there was actually one close by. I spawned with one nearby, which was low-key pretty nice. I started making my first bridge. I just made some slabs real fast, and this was the first bridge of many. Seriously, you'd think I'd be playing Poly Bridge with how many bridges I built in this damn video. But either way, I saw some hay from afar, and I also saw one of those churches, which means there's definitely a cleric. Which is perfect because we need a cleric to get ender pearls, and in order to get ender pearls, we need to be able to trade. Now, the most optimal trade that we can do to get those ender pearls happens to be in this house. That's right, a Fletcher. Perfect. Nice. Okay, what do you trade? Perfect. Alright, sweet. We can work with this. I quickly boxed him in just so that way he wouldn't be able to escape because I didn't want to risk any of my villagers dying during all this trading. That would set me back so much progress. I went over to the cleric's house just to make sure. A church? Cleric's house? I don't know. Just to make sure he wasn't dead. But I didn't see him, and I checked all the floors, and I found a normal villager, and I was like, okay, so the other one probably died, so I quickly grabbed the brewing stand and turned him into one. After that, I started grabbing some stone and I made some more tools, and then I began demolishing every single home in this dang village. I mined out every single house just to get enough emeralds. It took a good bit of work, but it was honestly worth it because nobody was really living here anyway. I don't feel bad. I didn't feel bad. I don't think I felt bad. Maybe I did, but either way, I needed to progress, so I took their houses anyway. If anything, I felt a little bit bad mining like the village tree in the center, but you know, the ground was gone. Times have changed, so I stopped caring, and I decided, frick it, I'm gonna mine it anyway. So yeah, and then I just started trading. Also, another thing, no, even if I did feel bad taking their houses down, this guy was happily taking his fallen brothers' houses. He was taking his fallen brethren's houses and turning them into money for himself. So if I'm bad, then he's also bad. Anyways, so I ran my little butt up to the cleric's house, and I was like, where did he go? First of all, I was annoyed with this ladder, but second of all, I was like, where is he? I saw him. I was like, I thought he died. I was actually stressed out for a second. I was like, no way, do I have to reset this whole challenge? Like, find another good spawn. But anyways, so yeah, I got him up safely and I pushed him back down into his little hole. Bro was really doing the most just trying to escape. I don't understand. I built a nice little thing for him. I gave him a job. I gave him a 9-block space to walk in. But anyways, so I just kept trading, you know, trying to make more emeralds, turn that into more levels so he could level up and give us ender pearls. But yeah, after that, it was just more house destruction. I just kept mining every single home that was left in the village. I was getting through them pretty well. You can see some of my destruction on that other house right there. But yeah, and then I kept trading with the Fletcher, getting sticks, turning them into more money. He had a best friend. He had a little chicken buddy. I took his egg. But yeah, I started trading more. Despite destroying all these people's homes, I still hadn't taken all of their things. There were still plenty of chests where I'd just walk into houses and suddenly they'd have stuff I hadn't even found yet, which is pretty awesome. I got some extra loot from that, a little extra emeralds. Now look, it may have cost these people literally everything them and their ancestors have ever built. But either way, it worked out in my favor after exploiting them that hard. I got ender pearls. Perfect. Just need to get all the emeralds to actually buy them. But at this point, the village had ran dry. There was barely any houses here left. So I decided to run all the way back to where we spawned, and I just started farming a bunch of trees. Now mathematically, we needed about 12 ender pearls, so we needed at 5 apiece about 60 emeralds to get every ender pearl we needed. Meaning we needed to sell 1,920 sticks, and that's on the cheap end, equating to about 4.5, maybe give or take a little more, a little less, stacks of oak logs, just to get what we needed. And of course, the second I have enough sticks, this guy's like, oh, I'm gonna hike up my trades now. So now it was more expensive, which was awesome, but either way, I didn't really care. I felt like it might be enough, and I kept trading. I kept letting him reset, and then just running back to him, trading for more emeralds, and eventually we had enough plus some so we could get a bunch of ender pearls. Of course, with all that waiting, there was going to be a few mobs outside, but I honestly took care of them surprisingly easily. I was worried about that while I was waiting, but it ended up being fine. Then I just kept waiting, reset, got all of our ender pearls, and finally it was time for us to leave this dang village, dude. I was so tired of being here. I had spent majority of this challenge. This may not seem like a lot of time to you guys, but this was a grind. But yeah, I killed the iron golem finally. I'm surprised I didn't do this earlier, and also surprised he didn't walk off the edge. I'm pretty grateful for that. Took his iron, made a bucket, planted a flower out of respect, and then I gave that chicken a high five. That's what that was. And I got water. Okay, don't die. Don't die. Bridging over the void non-stop was kind of just stressing me out, but it was okay because I knew where we could find a lava pool. I had found one while I was mining all the trees that actually looked like an ample spot. So I started bridging over to it, and I placed some water, and this was going to be our little humble abode for a little bit. After getting the home all set up, I felt really confident with where we are now. Like, having all the ender pearls at this point, I tried this challenge a couple times before this run, and we had not gotten this far. So I was feeling really motivated. I was actually really enthusiastic about this whole experience. I built my portal, everything was good. I was excited to go take a look inside of it, but also kind of terrified because I haven't experienced the nether during this yet. But either way, it was fine. I didn't have any gravel because it didn't really exist to my knowledge, so I had to wood light it. So I grabbed some lava and put it on top, but it really was crazy. It like lit immediately. I was pretty surprised, which was fire. But yeah, it was time to take a look. Alright, cool. It's just void everywhere you look. The bastion's alright, I guess. Not the most like promising spawn. Like, it was just void, but I don't know what I was expecting anyway. You tell me if you think it was a good spawn. It was alright. We had a bastion that was kind of cool. But either way, I had something else to knock out of the way, and that was making a cobblestone generator. I haven't made one of these in like 5 years. It's been a while since I played Skyblock. But yeah, it ended up working. I was really happy with that. Now it was time for the next arduous task, and that was to just mine a bunch of cobblestone and then start bridging. I didn't know which direction a fortress would be in, so I decided to go diagonally. I was like, maybe I'll see more this way. So that's how I spent most of my time for this part of the run, was just mining cobblestone and bridging, praying I'd find a fortress, which was a lot of work. It was a lot of mining. As you can see, I sped it up a lot, but it was not that fast for me. I ended up getting lit on fire, which really sucked. My tree had caught on fire, so I mined it down. I grabbed a different piece of dirt, and I moved it to the other corner, because I was like, that'd be better. A piglin came in, which kind of shocked me. But yeah. Oh my god, wait. Yes, dude. Okay, wait. Now what? We did it. We found the fortress, which meant blazes, but also, more importantly for the time, I just wanted to get over there. It was very sketchy because, like, I don't know, they kept shooting fireballs at me, and that doesn't make it easy to bridge. But either way, I stayed determined. I stayed determined, baby. I kept dodging their fireballs. I'd bridge out a little bit, and then I'd dodge more fireballs. We ended up getting pretty much all the way there, and then I got finally hit by one of them, and I died. But that was fine because, you know, I didn't have that much important stuff on me. So I just ran all the way back. And, yeah, I found a wither skeleton. I encouraged him to call up onto this platform. Come here, little buddy. And I punched him off. I was like, yeah, get out of here. And then, yeah, we just started hunting him. I died again, but frankly that was fine. I came back with a plan. I just built a little humble abode so that way if we did end up getting under attack again, I had somewhere safe to run to and hide. And then I just kept going at them. I got my first blaze rod. I ended up getting 2 in a row here, which was really lucky. I stored them safely away in a chest because I figured I was going to die again, which yeah, that ended up being true. But it takes more to make me give up, so I did not stop hunting. Boom, 7 blaze rods. Now, technically, we only needed 6, but I wanted 1 extra just to have, just in case. You can't be too careful with mods like this. Oh my god, do not jump on me, I swear. I crafted the Eyes of Ender, and yeah, it was basically just time to get ready for the fight now. I threw it just to see which direction we would need to start bridging. I knew it was either going to fall in the void or break, so that's why I made an extra one. But yeah, and then I just started mining a bunch of cobblestone. I crafted a ton of slabs and I started my journey. I was really nervous to fight the dragon because I had no idea what the end looked like, but I had a feeling with how the nether looked and how this world looked. It was not going to be easy. But yeah, I just kept bridging. One of the things that was useful though was on the way I was able to stop and grab loot from all of these dungeons. There was tons of dungeons just along the way, so I just dropped water down and started looting them. Felt like I might have lost my bearings somewhere around the way because I had gone a while and I still had not found this stronghold, so I decided I'm going to build a platform and throw another one. I was done listening to my mind and I just kept going and it finally came into view. The nerves were actually getting to me at this moment. I remember bridging over this, but yeah, I placed my water bucket down, I watched it trickle, and I got in there and I entered the stronghold. I remember being so nervous for this. I set my spawn almost immediately and I started looking around and I immediately saw the stronghold ruin. I started trying to make my way down to it, but that almost got me killed, so I was like, okay, yeah, I regret that decision. So instead I decided I was going to run back up there, mine some blocks, and build a bridge over the stronghold room myself. I saw the portal already had 2 eyes, which was really good considering I only had 11 ender pearls, so I was not as stressed out about that. I started really heavily prepping for the fight. There was a couple things I needed, but before I did anything else, I set my spawn and I filled in the portal. Now, I wanted to jump in, but what stopped me is, in case there is no terrain in the end, I need to be ready. So I ran over home and I went to the bastion because I wanted to steal some arrows from them. I got my arrows, so I dipped immediately and I started heading back to the portal. I took one look back at the bastion just right before we did this. Oh my god, I knew it. My plan of action was to shoot every tower, and while I did that, bridge over and keep moving water underneath me just in case I didn't end up getting knocked off. Come on, get back down here. Do it. Come on, get down here. Oh my god, this is it. This is it. He's dead. He's dead. I did it. 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 Oh my god. No freaking way, dude. Bro, it's over. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed this challenge. It was super fun to make. I absolutely love you guys. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.